Okay. So one of the things I want to talk about is chakra embodiment in terms of food. And this is really how I completely connected to the chakras. For me, I struggle with food. I mean, I'm a typical middle-aged woman. We are dieting. We're trying to figure out the world. My doctor's coming in and weighing me and, making me feel bad. I come back from the doctor's office and I feel depressed for weeks afterwards. And it's because doctors and other people, they don't know intuitively what's best for us. There's all these high gimmick diets out there. There's all of this wisdom and information, and it's overwhelming. Are you going to be keto, paleo? Are you going to be vegan? Are you going to be this? Are you going to be that? Like, basically, we are all trying to figure out this body, right? Like we talked about, what is a chakra? When something's out of alignment, that light goes on that says, search engine, engine light, service engine, go, something's wrong. As we get older, as we age, we start to realize our bodies are not relating to food in the same ways that they used to. And basically, it's because we're not eating mindfully. And I don't want to make anyone think that I'm a doctor or a nutritionist or that I am even the perfect eater or the healthiest eater. I'm not. However, I've learned that I do best when I can be grounded and connecting to my food. And the chakras help me with that. So every time I do the chakra embodiment journey, and I do it all the time, I get off the bandwagon. Life is here, life is there, birthday parties, this and that. Now all of a sudden I'm not feeling good. And I go, I really need to, ground in and go back to this chakra detox. And so within the chakra embodiment journey, there is also the chakra detox. And if you are looking at the chakras from an energetic level, they're also attached to different foods. So as you eat these different foods, what will happen is you will be doing almost like a cleanse and a detox as you start with the root chakra. Again, root vegetables. These are under the ground. These are rooted. We're talking about meats and sugars, all these things. We're essentially all eating root chakra all the time. So when you're connecting to the root chakra, the one thing you want to do is you want to kind of cut out those sugars. You want to cut out those carbs. In terms of, diets, it would probably be more keto or paleo, because you're thinking about what our ancestors used to eat their entire life. It was like one deer and they would survive on it for however long. That's why the Native Americans, they prayed over it, they blessed, and they used every aspect of the buffalo and every aspect. So root chakra is very typical. It's where most of us are kind of are looking at it from the color perspective. There's all those red foods, a red apple, right? And an apple a day keeps the doctor away. These are just foods that are going to be keeping you grounded. Journey, the higher we get energetically, sometimes it can be more difficult to ground. And that's where grounding foods are really beneficial. I know for me as a channel, sometimes I'll be getting downloads, I'll be getting really high, but I'll still have three-dimensional things that I need to do. So I'll eat root vegetables, because I need those grounding. I need to be more embodied. So you can start using tools like that once you know about how to connect to the foods and to the chakras through foods. Then you can kind of figure out what energetically, what spiritually, where you need to be and what you want to do. Every time I do this detox, I do end up, I don't weigh myself. I haven't weighed myself in years. As a girl that suffered with that and struggled with that, it's a gift to myself that I don't do that anymore. But I can tell that I feel better. and I can tell that I look better, and I can tell that I, you know, just feel good. That's what it's about. So that being said, the root chakra, as we go through, is going to be very, grounded. Then as you move up the chakra column, it's a detox, because the sacral chakra moves in where you take the red meat out. So you basically are chicken and crustaceans and fish and, fruits, and you're kind of eating those kind of, again, sexy kind of libido date night foods. That's kind of what it is in a lot of ways, right? Then the solar plexus is you're kind of pulling that chicken and the crustaceans out, and it's just fish. And carbohydrates are connected to the solar plexus. So if you're minimizing your carbs in the root and the sacral, then when you come up to the solar plexus, comfort foods, right? Where does that come from? Comfort foods. You feel safe, you feel connected. There's studies that when you eat carbs, there's actual activity in your brain that, like bonds and connections. So bread, right? The comfort of home, comfort foods. You've got breads, you've got grains, you've got fish. And then as you move up to the heart chakra, of course, no meat, no fish. You've got green leafy vegetables, air vegetables. Also, if you look at versus broccoli, right? The broccoli's gonna have less carbs because it's lighter, it's more airy, it's working up the chakra column. Throat chakra is essentially fruits, but I also look at it in terms of anything that's soft, that's going to be connecting you to your throat chakra, so you don't have to do a lot of chewing, so you're kind of detoxing there. Also, no dairy at this point. Vegetarian, not quite vegan, but definitely kind of getting the dairy, removing the dairy. Dairy increases phlegm, which can affect sinuses, so you're kind of taking the dairy out here. Vegan if you can, but definitely doing your best. And then when you get to the third eye chakra, you are connecting into that vegan food, right? Raw, natural, organic. Your food is not boiled. It's not, you want to kind of keep it as raw and close to alive as possible. But definitely vegan, if you're still going to be cooking, at least it gives you that kind of detox there. Now, the crown chakra is more fasting. I tend to use like the third eye and the crown as juice fast. I do a lot of juicing, Joe the juicer or the medical medium. I absolutely love and follow the medical medium. So any of the recipes for him would be great. Joe the juicer is great. And you can look at that and how just juicing itself kind of clears out the system. Celery juice is a great way to start your day, no matter what, if you have the time and energy. If not, just kind of focus it in on this chakra. Of course, fasting. Fasting means so many things to different people, and I've done it in different ways over the years. For me, it's more clear liquids and broths and waters, and I kind of do that throughout the day, and then I stop and kind of have like, one or two very small meals later on in the day. Depending on the fast, you can kind of go kind of really intense for 3 days, take a little break, go back intense. But again, it's not something you're doing long-term. I've done different variations of the chakra detox. I've done it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I've done it once, a whole week, root chakra for a whole week, sacral chakra for a whole week. That I find for me is the best way to do it. You can also do it by the month. I've definitely done that, but it gets very hard to stick to it when you're basically juicing and fasting in the last 2 months, which can be pretty difficult. I did it once and it was intense, and it was good because I was really unhealthy at the time. I gained a lot of weight. I was really depressed. I was losing patches of my hair. I had gone through all this trauma, and it helped me. And, I got better, but it was difficult. So I tend to kind of look at the modality of focusing on it for 7 weeks. And then when you're done, then you can kind of rotate it in like by the day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or just kind of reloop and do it again for the 7 weeks, which is what I personally have done. And also as I'm coaching other people to do this, I'm finding that's the easiest way to do it. Do keep in mind though, that when you finish the crown chakra, don't just go right back to all of that processed foods and, root chakra and candy and caffeine and all of that stuff. You want to slowly work your way out. You might want to slowly kind of go down, crown, third eye, even if you just do it by a day, just to give your body some time. If you're going to go back to meat and all those things, you'll see the difference in how your body feels in the different weeks with the different foods. Keep in mind too, this is hard for everybody. This was the hardest part for me. Oh my gosh, I'm a coffee drinker. I was a coffee drinker. Oh, I can say that now. I was a coffee drinker. I'm not anymore. But my guides were consistently being like, you've got to get rid of caffeine. It's not good for you as a channel. It was really holding me back. And so during the chakra detox, the root chakra, caffeine is connected to the root chakra. So it's absolutely fine. But then you've also got all that milk and all that sugar and all that stuff that you're putting into it. So what I kind of tell people is, if you are a coffee drinker, if you are a caffeine drinker, start noticing, how many sodas do you drink a day? Start looking at the sugar that's in those sodas and putting it in a jar so you can look at it and be like, wow, I'm drinking a lot of my calories. That's really what I do. I tend to drink my calories. I like those hot liquids, so I drink them all the time. Just do. And then coffee as well. For every scoop of sugar that you put in your coffee, put it into just a glass mason jar and see how much sugar you are drinking per day in that. And of course, the studies and the research is there. We all know sugar is not good for us. Or sugar replacements, the Splendas, the monk fruit. Like, I know, guys, you think it's better for you, but really it's not. You really want to get all of this stuff out of your diet. So again, as you rise up the chakral column, caffeine also disappears. You start with the root chakra. You've got caffeine, you've got your sugar like you're used to. The sacral chakra, what I encourage people to do is, instead of sugar in your coffee, try honey, changing the flavors, changing the routine. You'd be amazed. Life is it's routine. The flavor, the taste for a week, it's going to change. It's going to change how you are relating to it. Molasses is also really good. You can do maple syrup, you could do honey, you could do molasses. Just changing that routine of that scoop of sugar. Putting something else in there for this sweet. You want to be getting the dairy, removing the dairy, and kind of just going, just black coffee, no sugar, no dairies. Can you do that? And then the throat, the heart chakra, try to go to like a black tea or a green tea. And then the throat chakra, if you're not already on the green tea, move to the green tea. And then here, you want to move into, some kind of caffeine or herbal replacement. I started off doing a dandelion coffee, which really helped me kind of weed off of the weed off of the caffeine, the coffee itself. And I've also done the mushroom coffees that are out there, the mud water, the rise. They're great. They're just super expensive. So try them if you want. Four Sigmatic is a really good coffee replacement. Tastes kind of pretty good. You can kind of try different things, see what it works. This has taken me 2 years of consistently and actively trying to remove caffeine from my diet. Now, my morning ritual consists of making my own herbal tea. I use cinnamon, I use anise, I use nettle, I use marshmallow, dandelion root, a little bit of cacao nibs, cinnamon, ginger, fresh ginger, and a couple other spices. I like to put mulling spices in there sometimes, cloves and other things. So you'll find what tastes good for you. And then I will make that. I'll drink the first cup hot in the morning, and then the rest I will drink as cold throughout the day, because I, I tend to be, I like that taste. I like that drink. Best thing you can drink for yourself is water, of course. So, you know, just try it, see how you're doing. And of course, if you can, you can't, don't, you know, I wasn't able to do it at first either. You know, it took me a long time, and that was my goal for a long time, was to kick the caffeine habit. And I still like a cup of decaf coffee once in a while. Gives me a little bit of a buzz now, which is kind of fun compared to, you know, drinking 5 cups a day. It felt nothing. But it, you know, the energy, the lethargy that came, a lot of it was from that coffee. You know, it's amazing how that can affect it. And now I can kind of use my foods as a navigator. Okay, I'm going to be doing a lot of channeling this week. I'm going to be working a lot with third eye and crown, or I'm going to be public speaking a lot. I'm going to be working a lot with the throat chakra. You know, I'm way out there. I need to be grounding. You know, I need to be eating more root vegetables. I need to be pulling my energy down. So you can kind of use these tips to navigate and know that when you are eating, you're eating mindfully. It kind of gives you that connection of mind, body, spirit. And that's the whole purpose of this. Again, I am not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist. I am simply someone who has taken these tools and learned from them and done them myself over many, many years. I started this back in 2008 when I was getting my Reiki Mastership, and I was like, what the heck is a chakra? And so in the beginning, I mean, I was literally eating like orange mac and cheese and being like, good enough, it's orange. And it was just about the color, you know, but that's where I was back then. I wasn't thinking organic. I wasn't thinking, I was orange, you know, good enough. So you'll find what works better for you, but the consistency of kind of working through it. They're like, oh, it's metabolic confusion. And I was like, okay, that sounds good. But you eat through the chakras. It means you're not eating the same thing all the time, right? It means you're not just, you know, constantly shoveling food in. You're constantly like, okay, this is what I'm going to eat, and this is how it's connecting to, and this is how it's my body and how it's healing. So it just gives you a different perspective to embody, you know, your foods and your healing as you go. All right. Well, have so much fun. Do what makes you feel comfortable. You know, you are your own guru. If you can't, don't. If you struggle, who cares? It's about intention, not about perfection. It's about just the journey. So this is not something that I want anybody to feel that they, you know, didn't do good on, or they failed, or they messed up on. That's not what this is about, right? If you are in the heart connecting to my root chakra, right? That's what it's about. It's about knowing and understanding, like, oh, my body really needs some root chakra. So you're kind of making this connection. So your body's going, oh, okay, we're working together. I get it. So you and your body and your mind, body, spirit, it's a team. It's about intention, not about perfection. Thanks so much. And keep me posted. Let me know how it's going for you.